Let's go, binders. This is MJ, KK, 613.14. Come back at you one more time. Bye. Unofficial. Through my eyes, the way I see it. You want to say, Core rolled out the feature for making name changes. It's to make minor changes. Any major changes you can appeal. I wouldn't count on it. This is just to help straighten out some minor mistakes and stuff like that. And if you do appeal, don't expect a quick return. It's going to take time to process all the appeals that Core is going to get through this process. All I got to say is read. If you need to correct your name, change the spelling, add a middle name, add a maiden name, suffix, whatever. Read what you're getting into when you press the button to start the process. Just read the directions. Okay. There is no place on the form, straight up, to add a middle name or maiden name. But if you read into it, it says, like, tap here or learn more or something. There's a button there that will open up another page to allow you to add your middle name. Middle names are not necessary, but they should. You should put. If it's on whatever is on your documentation, whatever you're going to be using to KYC, that's how your real name should be. There is one for real name and usual name. Usual name is a nickname. Whatever you go by. If on your birth certificate or your passport or your driver's license or whatever, if it has Nicholas on, let's say Nicholas, I'm just going to use Nicholas, has Nicholas, and you go by Nick, then that would be your usual name. Okay. But what you want is your real name that's the one you want to be correct, is your real name. Because that's what they're going to use for KYC. Now, I also had somebody mention just a little while ago that they got an invite through the Pi app for Yoti. Now, I don't know. I haven't heard anything that Core has stopped using Yoti to KYC. To me, it would make sense that they would use both. Because not everybody has a problem or an issue KYCing with Yoti. There are just certain countries that have trouble because of the documentation that Yoti requires. Now, that's not on Core. That's on Yoti. Because Yoti is in the business of KYC. That's what they do for a business. And it's not just Pi that they KYC for. They KYC for companies all around the world that require KYC. It's not just crypto. It's not just the exchanges. Whoever wants to be sure. Any company that's hiring somebody could use Yoti to KYC because it proves who we say we are. And throughout Yoti's business, throughout their career, history, whatever, those are the three documentations that Yoti only accepts is passport, driver's license, or ID. And they, depending on what country you're in, the driver's license and ID may not be a valid piece of documentation, because there are countries and places that they can be forged. They can be forged, copied, stolen, whatever. Passport is your best way to go through Yoti, but there are a lot of us. I did through my ID. It took a couple of days, 3 days for them to whether to research the information or whatever, but it went through. When it first did it, it didn't go through. Talked to some people, went back 3 days later, ran it through again, and it went through. They just needed time to whatever it was. But I'm also here from the United States, but I know countries like Nigeria. There's a couple other ones too. Nepal. A couple of other countries that Yoti will only accept passport. That is because that's the documentation that they know has no issue, no problem, whatever. but that's the business they're in. So don't hold that against Pi or Core or whatever. It's Yoti. And don't hold it against Yoti because that's what they do for a living. So if you get, at this point, personally, if you get the invitation to go through Yoti and it came through the Pi app, go for it. If you have the documentation to do it, go for it. Because it'll take pressure off of, one, it'll take pressure off the app, it'll take pressure off Core, it'll take pressure off in-house KYC. As far as I know, Core is still picking up the bill for anything done through Yoti, so it's free anyway. So what difference does it make where you KYC? We don't have to KYC in-house. I don't think anybody that's KYC'd to this point is going to have to go back through in-house. KYC in-house is for the countries that have trouble KYCing through Yoti. So, we got 25 million people to get through KYC to get the Mainnet by the end of the year. So I'm sure Core is going to use whatever tool they have or whatever avenue they have to get as many people through KYC as possible. So that's just mine. If I hear something that changes, then I'll put something else out. But for right now, that's where we're at. Okay, the name change, just minor. It's just minor name change. Because I don't think a lot of people understand what KYC is about, why names are so important, why, at this stage in the game, why Core is reluctant to make overall name changes. Okay? And I want to bring up another one too, because how we are identified on the blockchain is through our phone number and our username. That's it. Giving our real name through KYC, through Pi, is to ensure and hold people accountable. One person, one account, one mobile device, one node on PC. If you choose and you can. Or if you can and choose, whatever. Because Pi is built on trust. Pi is built on trust. And there are numerous accounts. I've been listening to chat here lately. Everybody's questioning the 25 million. Come on, man. You're going to nitpick about something else. Give me a break. There are probably, if Core has officially put out 25 million, then it's 25 million active users, and I believe Core considers an active pioneer after 3 mining sessions and has built the security circle. Is an active miner. That's who they count. Well, because Google only shows X amount and the App Store only shows X amount of downloads, people can still download Pi through minepi.com. So you have 3 sources. So if you take all of the numbers, if you take the App Store and Google, that's probably about 20 million right there. I think it's 10 million a piece or something. Well, you count in minepi.com would definitely make up for the other 5 or 10. Okay, but once there's more than that. There's more downloads or more accounts created than just those. Like I say, the buddy that invited me, first thing he did before reading anything was set up 3 accounts on 3 different phones. And there are a lot of people that do it, that are in the space, that just come in thinking that that's the way it is, because that's the way the space works, that's the way Bitcoin works, that's the way, okay? So they create fake accounts. Well, Pi is not built on getting as many accounts as you can to get as much Pi as you can or whatever. It's one person, one account, one mobile device. There's a reason for it. Because we can, doesn't mean we have to. There are people that have created bots in other countries where they can buy thousands of phones for the cheap, where they can buy thousands of IDs for the cheap, and they can have villages mining for them. Okay, that's part of what KYC is for. Is to hold people accountable to clean that garbage up. All the speculation going on Pi supply and that, it's basically a waste of time right now, because it's all going to change Mainnet. Even, I believe, even the Genesis block that was written for testnet will not be the Genesis block for mainnet, my own personal. Because there's too much bull. There's too much garbage crap that's going on in testnet still. I mean, it's been going on since I've been here. Okay? So, because those that know the space, those that know programming, those that know crypto, those that know the know, they do things without even reading about Pi. Okay? Just like my buddy. First day, 3 accounts, 3 different phones. It took me almost a week to convince him that no, that's not the way it is. Okay? And he told me to stick with him and we'll be fine. Well, if we were out on any other project, I would say yes. I'd be right there with him. I'd create as many as I could and do whatever. Okay? But Pi is not, and Pi is nothing like anything that has been introduced or out on the space or nothing. Not built the same. Yes, it's built off of Stellar. It's using Stellar as a foundation. It's a fork off of Stellar. Core chose Stellar as a foundation for Pi. Now, whether, I hear a lot of stuff and whatever they're writing is outside of, and it doesn't affect this, and it doesn't affect that, and it doesn't, okay. I don't buy it. I buy Pi is going to have to do certain things because it's written on Stellar Protocol. But I don't believe Pi is Pi. Core, I don't know of any other crypto that has security circles of people that we know and trust to add first line security to our network. I don't know of any other project that has written a trust graph that the nodes and whatever else will use whatever to connect to the network. Plus, I'm sure it's part of the internal security. The trust graph also is doing other stuff, man. The trust graph is showing we're human. How humans react to the network. How we start a session, how we interact, how we do it. That's all part of the trust graph. And I'm sure part of that trust graph is whatever isn't caught by KYC and whatever isn't cleaned up when we launch Mainnet, I don't think they'll be in the program long. I think the protocol itself will tag them. And once we're up and running, and the protocol is running Pi, if you're tagged, you're out. Tagged, you're it. The protocol won't let you interact with it. No. I don't know of any other project that does that. Okay? That's different. And nobody's talking about it, nobody's whatever. And we probably shouldn't. I probably shouldn't be saying anything now. Because, there are other security measures in Pi, whether it's part of the protocol or whether Core's added it or whatever. I know. So they added a trust graph, they added a security circle, they're adding KYC to hold people accountable. Okay? When there may come a point, or should come a point, or probably come a point, where the more nodes you have, the slower it runs or whatever, and the more transactions you have, the slower they get put into the block and stuff, and then that's where the bottleneck is. The bottleneck is the amount of transactions. Well, Core has also wrote in, like a cache system, to handle the overload. So, if we're running wherever the nodes are tuned at, if they're tuned at 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds, whatever it is, with X amount of transactions, the overflow can be handled without slowing things down. Yeah, it may take a little longer to get a transaction recorded into the block, but the blocks are they're coming out. From what I understand from Stellar, they pump, irregardless of whether the block is full, they pump out blocks. The blocks pump out automatic. They just keep them. When they have a full block, they put a full block in the chain. They don't have a full block, it still goes in the chain. It doesn't stop and slow down, stop and start, and stop and start. It just keeps going. Okay, that's from what I understand. So, with all of that, I heard one figure, the amount of accounts was up into the 100 millions. Yeah. From all the fake accounts, bot accounts, clone accounts, people up to no good, that the overall total count was up in the 100 million. That means all you speculators and all this that are speculating on total amount of pi, trying to do it off of what's in the protocol. Well, the amount of pi, if we have 100 million pioneers that are accounts that have them, okay, well that changed pioneer accounts, that changes the total amount of pi and all that other stuff until Mainnet. Once that's all cleaned up and the official numbers come out, that's when you can start speculating. That's when you can, because all the numbers are official. Nothing is official right now. It's all speculation. Yes, now I understand that Core has offered investors, not current investors, beginning investors, has offered them an option, like a stock option type deal, to where I know how it works, but I don't know how to explain it. It's an option that they have to getting seed investment, to getting capital investments to start the project. Well, if that's out there trading on the exchange, or that's being listed or speculated on, that has nothing to do with pi, current supply, circulating supply, total supply. I don't believe it has anything to do with it. It has what shares were options or offered by Core team. I think it's two different deals. Yeah. So if you're running your speculations on that, I don't believe that has anything to do with pi supply, current total supply, circulating supply. I don't think it has anything to do with it. I think it has to do with whatever was offered by Core team to raise capital. And see, I think that has also changed, because that all of that happened about the same time that we chose to put ads into Pi. Okay, so I think I don't know all the ins and outs and what all was going behind the curtain and what is all, okay, but I'm sure since Core's picked up the bill for everything, I mean, they have not asked us for any investment. They have not asked us for any cash. They have not asked us for any capital. They have not asked us for any hard money. They have not, okay. And we still get to earn pi and people still keep bitching. What a sad state we're in. Okay. So I can see where they, whether they had initial investors or initial whatever it is that I heard was family and friends and a couple of seed investors. Okay. And that Nicholas put that out himself. Yeah. Nicholas posted that himself. So, okay, and whatever that initial investment, I'm sure, with server costs, with additional servers, with buying space in the cloud, doing, I'm sure, and I mean, Core team has expanded probably, let's see, 3, 11, 15. They got to be close to 20 people right now, I believe, somewhere around there, 18 to 20 people that are actual Core staff. Well, I don't think they're working for Pi. They're probably getting paid. They should be. Okay? They're Core. They should be getting paid. Anyway, so there's overhead. Pi has overhead. That's why the ads were put in place. The ads were put in place to cover Pi expenses and fund Pi to the end. To get Pi to the end. Well, I hear people saying that Core's making all this money off of the ads and doing all this off the ads and doing all that. Well, I also hear that crypto needs liquidity. Well, all the negative thinking and all the, Core's up this. You got a hard on for Core, then, what? If you have a hard on for Core and you have a hard on for Pi, why are you here? Okay, that's not positive support to get us to phase 3. No. I mean, every little interjection and negativity that comes in, or whatever on Core's doing that. No. It's not a positive deal. Now, whether you want to say it's a cult and whether you want to say it's brainwashing or whether you want, so what? So what? Pi is Pi. Well, it's not open source. It's not decentralized. It's not supposed to be because we're still in testnet. And when you don't even go on to decentralized, because blockchain, the only thing decentralized about blockchain is the distributed ledger. That's it. That's decentralization in crypto. And every other project out there has some central point, whether it's the nodes or the currency or the coin or what. There is a central point. Usually, somebody's controlling the currency. You can't even call it currency. Somebody's controlling the token or the coin or whatever. I don't know of a crypto out there that can't be influenced on the exchange. None. Because there's a concentration of wealth somewhere. There's a whale. If you have whales that can change the price or influence the price, then it's centralized. Yes. I mean, the last article or whatever, 65% of the nodes from Bitcoin are controlled by China. That means China controls all the farms. That means the nodes are controlled. They're centralized. If somebody has 65% control of, that's over 51%, man. That's over 51%. And I don't know, I know Stellar, from what I understand from Pi, because of the Federated Byzantine Agreement. Yeah, I think I got that one. Pi can run with 2/3 of the nodes bad nodes. And the blockchain will still run. I don't know what proof of work is. I don't know what Bitcoin is. How many bad nodes you can have or whatever. But if somebody has 65% of the nodes, they control it. If they shut down, Bitcoin, if China controls 65% of Bitcoin nodes and they get pissy or whatever and say, and shut them all down, yeah, I don't think it'll happen, but it could. 65, they shut them all down, there is no more Bitcoin. If the nodes aren't running and the blockchain isn't being built, okay, now I don't know about stuff that's forked off of it because there's a lot of stuff forked off of it. Every time Bitcoin has a blip, it forks. It creates another coin. Anything that has a bit in front of it is forked off of the Bitcoin blockchain. So, but I don't know enough about the tech that if the main chain goes down, how it affects the rest of the chains that are forked off of it. I don't know. That I don't know. So I don't know how to. My thinking would be if the main chain goes down, everything that's tied to it goes down with it. Is my thinking. But I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, comment, text me, tell me. I'd like to know, because I don't know for sure. So, they're all, from what I've read, from most, the projects that I've been involved in, and from what I understand and the way I understand Pi should be 90, I'm going to give them 95 to 97% decentralized once it goes live. Right now, no. Don't expect it to be. I expect it, let's put it this way, I expect it to be centralized. I don't expect transparency. I don't expect open source. Okay? Because we are where we're at. Now, when we go phase 3, yes, I expect decentralized, I expect open source, and I expect transparency. Up until then, I don't. There's no reason for me to. Okay, but what I also understand about Pi, and why I say Pi will be 95 to 97% decentralized, is because of one person, one account, one mobile device, one node on PC. That means nodes have no opportunity. They have no opportunity to pool together, to farm up, to create a point of centralization with nodes. Pi nodes will stay decentralized. 236 countries around the world with 25 million people. Yes, we may only be running 17,000 nodes or what, I don't know. I don't know what the count is because I'm not running one and not wasting my time trying to keep up with information that is irrelevant for me right now. Okay? But I know we're above 10,000. And yes, they're not all in the process and they're having, okay, we're in testnet. And I did find out, I talked to somebody that knows the nodes and knows what's going on. There really isn't any supernodes in Pi. Every node in Pi can independently create a block, can validate a block. Yeah. From what I understand, there are no like supernodes, and I was under a misconception from that. So that's still kind of up in the air. Okay, until Pi launches official, probably won't know. Okay, but I do know there is a testnet blockchain running. There are a certain amount of nodes running the testnet blockchain. There are a certain amount of nodes. People are getting pissed because they're not in there. They've been having trouble opening ports, or I don't know all of the ins and outs. Just from what I pick up, just chill. Because I also talking to somebody that is running a node, a pretty fast node, pretty heavy. I mean, he's got some pretty good equipment. That what I got from him as far as cost, if you leave your PC on 24/7 now, you shouldn't see any increase in your utility bill. Shouldn't see any real increase in your data use. Okay, that I got it from somebody running a node. No, I'm not going to say who it is because no, I'm not giving up anybody's anonymity. He is who he is. Okay, whether you believe me or not, it doesn't really matter. It's what I believe from him. So I'm just putting out information. You can take it for what it's worth. So there is no right now, from what I understand, the testnet blockchain is run pretty good. From what I understand, it's not missing. There's Explorer in the browser and all that. You can check it out and look at it, and whatever. So nodes will be no point central. No, can't farm up. Can't have multiple accounts. Can't do one node, one person, one node. Decentralized. 236 countries around the world, 25 million people. Whether China has X amount and they have X amount, and they have X amount, or whoever has X, but it's still decentralized. Nodes, decentralized. Because of the way Pi is distributed and will be distributed, Pi will be, there's no way to create a concentration of wealth or a centralized point of wealth like Bitcoin. 1 or 2% of the wallets control 97 or 98% of the coins mined to this point. Won't change. If China is controlling 64% of the nodes or 65% of the nodes, they're going to get most of the coin that comes out being mined. The odds are in their favor. They're going to stack up coins on their side. Now, is there enough coins left to mine to offset the whales or the 1 or 2% that are controlling Bitcoin at this point? No. I don't know. I don't care. But I'm just pointing out, the coin in Bitcoin is centralized. It can be influenced, it can be controlled, it can be whatever. Pi can't. And will never be able to. Because, and this is where I have an issue with the exchanges, with people pushing Pi to the exchange, because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to create a pool of Pi big enough for them to be able to influence or control. And it can't happen. It can't happen because of the way Pi is being distributed. Currently, Pi launched in March 14th, 2019. And we grew exponentially there for a while, and then I think the exponentially slowed down. But we grew in all directions. We're reaching in all directions. So Pi is being spread out, man. Spread out in big enough quantities to be able to be used as a currency. And I know a few whales that are in Pi that have millions of Pi, and they can't influence Pi. They can't influence Pi. I don't care how big they can't influence. Now, that's because Pi is decentralized. It will stay decentralized. The way it distributes its coin and will in the future is decentralized. We all get the same base mining rate, and depending on how many people you invite, you'll get X amount for your referral reward, up to 100 million. But the majority of people, I would say the people that can create huge mining teams are, 1, in a minority, 2, they're probably not all legal, and 3, they may not be here come Mainnet. Okay? The majority of us have trouble. We have trouble inviting people. We can't get people invited. We have small earning teams. Which through the referral reward is the way that kind of levels the field for the currency, because no matter when you come in, you can catch the next level. If you have the ability to invite people, and they're all legit and they're all whatever, yes, you can accumulate more Pi, and you can reach the next level. Now, whether you can reach way up, no, but you can reach high enough that it balances. It balances the people coming in. It balances because you have people at the top that can't, that are coming down into the lower level. So it just balances the level, and eventually it'll be leveled out. Now, the point of centralization that I am concerned about comes from the way Stellar works, where you have, where it says that all of the pi that will ever be will be minted at Genesis block. And from what I understand, all of that coin goes into a trust account or a vault account or whatever it is. Now, I imagine Core has access to that. And whoever controls that, that is a point of centralization to me. Yes. If it's all handled by the protocol, then it's a different issue. I mean, if nobody has access to it, then nobody can control it, nobody can do anything with it, nobody can run off with it, nobody can all those things that goes with it. If it's controlled by the protocol. If the protocol is the only one that can get to it, then Pi is 100% decentralized across the board. Ledgers decentralized, nodes are decentralized, coins decentralized, no access to the big pool, 100% decentralized. The only project out there that I know is that way. Is that way, and will stay that way. Yeah. So I'm not worried about decentralized. Core already wrote it in. Okay. Transparency, yes, that's a different issue, because if we're talking fate, if we're bringing in fate money through the ads, or if advertisers are having to buy Pi, and somewhere fate is coming into Pi app. Yeah, I want who's got it, where's it going? Yeah, I want to know all that. I mean, can I change it? Can I do anything? No, I just want to know where it is. Yeah, to hold people accountable. Yeah, people should be. Core team should be held accountable when Pi goes mainnet. They're no different than we are. Yes, this is their project. It's their vision. It's their goal. It's what they wrote it. Their name is all over it and whatever. But yeah, everybody should be held accountable. Everybody should be held accountable. To hold them accountable now? No, they got too much shit on their plate, man. Yeah. To hold them accountable now, if they were gonna bounce, they'd already bounced, I believe. With the shit that we've put them through, and the shit they've been dealing with, and coming up with solutions and doing, yeah, they're not going anywhere. I'm not worried about them going anywhere. And all of those that are thinking that they're the crooked ones, or they're the ones doing all of the, no, it's you, man. It's coming out of your head. And if you were in their position, that's what you would be thinking and you would be doing. So that's why you're thinking that way. Give it a break. You know? Take it somewhere else. Just take it somewhere else. It's getting old. It's getting old. Fighting every step of the way to get Pi forward is getting old. It just is. I mean, I just floated around yesterday, whatever it was. Was watching. Went on to different social media, went in and out of the chat, and doing all. It hasn't changed in 2 years. It hasn't changed in almost 3 years. It hasn't changed in almost 3 years. The chats that I went into, I haven't been into in a long time, and they're still complaining and talking the same garbage that they were 2.5 years ago. What? When did I get out of those? 6 months ago. I stopped going in just because I got tired of bullshit, man. Yeah. Talk about crowdthink. Talk about mob mentality. Check out some of these unofficial social media sites, man. Yeah, just check them out. Blow your butt away. Because, yeah, it just will. And maybe that's why I'm saying this now. I wasn't going to do this one, but yeah, I'm going to put this one out. Screw it. Because everybody's under their own. I think one of the issues with Pi, one of the biggest issues with Pi, everybody, or I should say the majority, most, a lot, big portion of, whatever word you want to use, are thinking of what, they're thinking of Pi, and they're thinking of Pi through what they think Pi needs. What they believe Pi is, what they believe Pi will do, how Pi will, is coming from their own thinking. It's not coming from what's written. It's not coming from what I mean, it's written. It's what it is. It's what we're supposed to be working for. It's not supposed to be what I'm working for. It's supposed to be working for what Pi needs and what it's working for. And it's not. You know, it's there are a lot of people that aren't. The ones that are vocal, let's put it this way, the ones that are vocal, I don't know. They're not thinking about Pi. They're not thinking about what Pi means because they don't know Pi. You know, they don't know Pi. They don't know the capability of Pi. They don't know what Pi can actually do because it's being compared to what's already out. And what's already out can't do shit. You know, Bitcoin has already been forced into the market it is. I don't care how expensive it gets or how, it's not even value, it's price, how expensive it gets. Most people can't reach it, you can't use it for business, and you can't do nothing with it. And like I said before, crypto's missing half the picture. Crypto's missing half the picture. Pi's looking to supply the other half of that picture. And that's what gives Pi, that makes Pi, that is what Pi is. I mean, that's what Pi is about. That's what Pi is about. And to tell me that these coins that are out now have use case, okay, now the NFTs, yeah, that's a little different because they're used for art and whatever, digital art and whatever it is, and they're so out. Talk about a bubble, talk about overinflated, talk about overvalued. Shit. Okay, that's all hype, man. That's all crowd think. People think mob mentality. You know, if a piece of art comes up and is worth that, then that's what that token's worth. Yeah, on art is a subjective thing. You either like it or don't. You're either going to pay for it or you're not. Okay? There's a lot out there that sucks its worth buku bucks, man. Then there's some art out there that's awesome that just doesn't even get looked at. So art is subjective. Subjective to who has the money and who's paying and who's buying and who's doing is subjective. So, yeah, I think that. And I was looking at the metaverse. God damn. What are we coming to, man? I mean, I guess that's where we're at in day and age. You know, and I guess that's where we're headed. Okay? You know, I was reading an article. I don't know all about it. I was just touching on some stuff, just to find out about it. Well, I was reading this article about this mother that was planning a birthday party for her 13-year-old son. Well, with Corona and all other stuff, yeah. I mean, can't, you know, I don't even know if they're still in style or going to a park and doing whatever, going here, going, you know, to movies, going that, whatever. But with Corona, yeah, everything's all inside. Well, the son asked for a birthday in the metaverse. Well, I guess it's where you step into a virtual reality, whatever, and you create an avatar, and you can buy stuff with it, and use the coins to buy stuff, and and play games and all this other kind of stuff, and that's how the kids today interact. Which totally blows me away because I can't even do a video game, man. But that's where we're leading. And looking at some of the games that have come up and stuff like that, the virtual reality games, okay, well, that's where we're headed. Okay. You know, and it just the way the article went, you know, that he had his friends over and they all got into it, you know, they all got their avatars and got into this deal and went inside the computer and did what they did and got what they got and did what they did, and everybody had a killer time. Yeah. It's stated, you know, anybody over 25 probably doesn't have a clue what's going on. Well, I'm 60 and I had no clue what's going on. But coming up does, because that's what they're brought up with. That's what they know. Change. It's all about change, man. It's all about change. Pi is about change. And like I say, the biggest thing that is going to separate Pi from the rest and separate Pi from central bank, from the system we use, to become an alternative currency to what's already out, is governance. You need to start thinking about it. You need to start talking about it. Core's not going to do it. No. Why should they? Governance isn't on Core. Governance is on us. Core has built Pi for the community. Like I said, we've dropped the ball, and we're still dropping the ball. We are. And Mainnet will tell. We're close enough to Mainnet now. I'm just waiting for Mainnet. I am. To see how things fall. I hate to say right or wrong or whatever it is, but hopefully, it's going to fall the way it's going to fall. And some of us are going to be crying, some ain't going to be crying, some are going to be shaking their heads, some are going to be, what the hell happened? Because I don't think Mainnet launch is going to go the way everybody's thinking. It's not going to be a light switch. It's going to be a controlled launch, whether it's some kind of soft launch, controlled launch, restricted on what we can do. And KYC, we'll put this out. This is my opinion. KYC could be a part of that soft launch. Because if you ain't KYC, you can't get your Pi. You can't get your Pi, you can't get involved in the stuff going on. So I think KYC could be part of Mainnet launch. So Quark could come out and say, hey, yeah, we're going to go Mainnet this day. But there's only so many that go on Mainnet. So only so many with KYC. Yeah, the process is ongoing. So as you KYC and you roll through, you'll roll through. It's also a way to make sure no bad actors are getting through. Slow it down. Slow it down. Take your time. Sort them out one at a time. Get rid of the good ones. Get rid of the bad ones. Keep the good ones. Good ones, bad ones, good ones, bad ones. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of bad ones gone. And, sorry. At this point, sorry. You had all the time in the world, man. You had all the time in the world to make it right, and you didn't. So, there will come a point where we won't get any more chances. It is what it is. See ya. Out of here. You'll lose whatever you got and may be able to start over. I don't know. I would think. But would still have to come in. Still have to be invited. Still have to verify phone. Still have to KYC. Then you can come in and start running Pi. Pi is built on trust. That's the mechanism coming in. And I believe it will be. So there will come a point where, sorry, man, been trying to tell you, been trying to wake up, but you're so busy you focus on rest. And I also think there will be restrictions. It's just my opinion. There will be restrictions on the amount of, either the amount of Pi we get or the amount of Pi that we need to do anything, especially when it comes to exchanges. Because I believe, there's not a doubt in my mind anymore, that when Pi goes Mainnet, the exchange will have a price. And it'll be so friggin' low, good luck. And I think Core will restrict the amount of Pi or whatever to go. Because you're going to need hundreds of thousands of Pi to be able to trade on the exchange. If it starts where people are talking, I've heard anywhere from $2 to $3, and that's an outside. They're laughing at $2 and $3. They're down lower, down like some of them have it out for 3 places in a penny. That's 4 places out in a penny, man. That's way low. You get up into something reasonable, you're probably 10 or 20 cents, maybe, for something reasonable. I don't think the exchange will list higher than that. Especially when find out what total supply is. Yeah, especially when you find out what total supply is, what circulating supply is, and they punch it into their formula. Yeah, Pi's not gonna be worth shit. Not on the exchange. Yeah, I'll be surprised if it reaches 20 cents. I will on the exchange. Yeah. But like I say, we don't have to trade there. And I believe Pi will start at a high value, buying power value. I don't know where. I mean, people know my opinion where I think it should start, wherever. That's where I think it should start. It's reasonable. It's a reasonable place to start. It's middle of the road. It's justified. It's reachable. It's something that's trustable. I mean, people are laughing at it. But Pi needs to at least. That's the top of where Pi should start. Oh, it's only going to go up from there. It will only go up from there. Because once Pi is live and Mainnet, the markets take over. Market spending and all of that stuff it comes down. Because Pi is looking to be a currency. It's looking to be a consumer-used don't say product, the consumer use currency. Daily currency, buy daily goods. The market there will settle, will justify. Now, how long it takes to get to where it should be, it's up to us. Now, how we view the exchanges, and we start selling on the exchanges, how long it takes for that price to get up, because they're using different markers, using different formulas, using different things, because it's trading price, it's trading volume, it's trading. If the supply isn't there, and the demand is already there, you already know the demand is there. Just got to see it. The demand is there, but the supply is not there. Supply and demand. If you don't have supply and you got demand, what happens? The price goes up. You hold on to that you hold on to that supply, price is going to keep going up. Price is going to keep going up. That's all it can do. Okay, we're using your formula, but you're figuring supply in the wrong place. You're figuring circulation in the wrong place because of all the other coins. Pi doesn't have to trade on the exchange because Pi has buying power. It can buy goods and services. That's what Pi is about. It's not about trading on the exchange. So I'm waiting for Pi to go live. I really am, because I'm tired of listening to garbage, man. You guys got it all figured out. You got it all hooked together. You're the experts or whatever it is. And when Pi doesn't go that way, you better have another plan in your back pocket. You better have another plan in your back pocket. I mean, I know I'm leaning this way. I got a couple of plans in my back pocket in case Pi doesn't go the way I think it's going to go. Oh, yeah. No, dumb. If Pi ends up going this way, I'm going to buy what I can and bail. I can buy what I can and bail. And then I'll come back in about 10 years when it's worth something. That's about how long it would take, probably, if it survives. If it survives. That's all. Yeah, okay. But you got to have alternative plans. I don't think a lot of people have alternative plans because that's how they're strategized. It's crypto. That's going to do. No. I believe Pi's going to be different. Pi's going to launch. Core's going to launch Pi different. There's going to be restrictions on Pi. What we can do with Pi, what we can't do with Pi. When it comes out, that'll still be centralized. Count on it. I am. And it should be. It should be. The way we've stepped all over this project, yeah. If I were Core, I wouldn't release it either. And we should have been talking about community governance at 500,000 or 5 million people. 20 million people ago. Haven't heard anything. Don't know anything. Nobody cares about it. And that's what is one of the big pieces is lacking in all these other projects. But that's one of the biggest assets we, as pioneers in Pi, have against outside. Yeah. I know. Don't understand it. If you're not thinking about it, then it's not a priority. When it should be, when we launch Mainnet. Governance should be up there with the rest of them, and it's not. I don't know what to say, man. Like I say, I have a couple of thoughts. Either society is not ready. This is my big. Societies are not ready to make the necessary changes to get out from underneath the system we're in. That's all I see. I see people being sedition. I see them. They're not willing. They're either not willing to risk, not willing to take a chance, not willing to see, not willing to understand, whatever, to get out from underneath that system because it's familiar. It's easy. People know how to use it, work within it, try to make whatever they're going to make. We know the system's broke. Everybody complains about the system. They complain about central bank. They complain about all garbage that goes on. We're handed a second opportunity to do something about it, and people don't want to do it. They blew it with Bitcoin because Bitcoin should have. Bitcoin was the first. Nobody knew what it was. Nobody knew how to deal with it. Nobody knew what was going on, except one person, Satoshi. Satoshi knew what he wrote. Core knows what they wrote. Core knows it's possible. It's up to us to make it possible. It's up to us to make it. And I was talking about somebody, I forget how he put it. Pi is an amazing journey, or the journey for Pi is amazing, or something like that. Yeah, it is. If we choose the journey we're on, will be amazing if it comes down to what path we choose to take. If we choose to take the pioneer path and create our own path and make our own way, create our own model, do our own thing. Oh yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting. It's awesome. It's incredible. It's whatever. If we force Pi to follow the path that everybody else's path that is gone, that is familiar, that people understand, know how to work with, don't want to change, don't want to whatever, Pi's not exciting or amazing. It's just another shitcoin. Yeah. Because in my opinion, with where the exchange is going to start, with the supply, with the thinking, with the whatever, it will be turned into. Same thing they did with Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin didn't reach its potential. Bitcoin's part of that system. Bitcoin's part of that system. Whether you can make a lot of money all around it doesn't. Bitcoin isn't what it's supposed to be. So, I know. I'm in a minority with that and whatever. But, yeah. And I mean, you believe what you won't believe. You believe what you won't believe. And you believe it, hopefully, history doesn't repeat itself. Because if history repeats itself, who knows how long it's going to take for the next one to come around. Because by that time, the governments will be in a digital currency, and the game will be, the whole atmosphere, the game will be different. It'll be played digitally, but it'll be played by their rules. Yeah. So, I hope, like I say, I hope people wake up, see, and we can get out from underneath that before they roll out their digital currencies. Because once the government digital currency comes out, crypto to survive? I don't know. We'll see. Because crypto has had no competition. Since Bitcoin rolled out, crypto has had no competition from big government. And crypto, I mean, I know all the hype around crypto and I know all this stuff, but crypto is less than 10% of the overall world economy. Yeah, Bitcoin's a global economy. Pi will be a global economy. But what's the Bitcoin share? 1 or 2%? 3% maybe? The overall crypto market only makes up 6%. So Bitcoin is 4%. Not a lot, man. When you're talking 7.5 billion people, 4% ain't a lot on the bigger, grander scheme of things. Okay. So, anyway, I went a little long on this one. But, there's a lot going on in Pi. We're getting faster. We just need to... I don't even know what to say anymore. I'm just getting tired. I am. I'm getting tired of... But I'm here. I'm still pitching. I'm still doing whatever. But, when you go get up against negative all the time, and very little positive coming back, it gets tired. And I can understand why. A lot of older pioneers that know Pi, that are working to move Pi forward, don't come into chat a lot. Because, yeah, they don't come into chat a lot. They're doing what they're supposed to, and they're moving they're moving forward in a positive way. Whether we believe it or whether you believe it or not, they are. So when Mainnet hits, things are going to, things are going to change. So, because a lot of things are going to open up, a lot of things are going to be talked about. It's where we go to spend our Pi to get the best value is what will give Pi legs, will give Pi strength, will there's no reason why Pi shouldn't hit the ground running. Yes, I understand it's an infant and it's a baby and you can't put a baby into college and all this other... Man, I was using that analogy 2 years ago. We're 2 years past that. Yes, Pi's still in the womb and still whatever, but it's itching to get out. It's not as much a baby as you think it is. Because there's... If you have economies anywhere from $10 to $100 already moving Pi, already selling goods and services for those values, that means it's walking already. Then walking. Pilots have had it walking. Then it's going to depend on what dApps are built and how that rolls out and what the people inside the dApps value Pi at. Mm-hmm. And I know. I know everything should be in-house. Everything should Okay, that in-house is the official place. It's where all the official information comes from. It's where all the official stuff comes from. It's all, but you can't deny what's been going on. Yeah, you may not like it, may not go to your thinking, but you can't deny it's happening. Been happening, will be happening. Yeah, yeah. I don't want to go too far in there because it's not worth it. It's not worth pulling covers off of whatever that don't need to be pulled off. We're getting close to Mainnet. Come on, Mainnet, and then we'll see what happens. All right, guys, I'm out.